Hey, everybody. Hey. Y'all ready today? Y'all ready? I do got my cards to pull something for y'all. Can you all hear me okay on YouTube? Hey, everybody on Instagram. Hey, y'all. Hey. It's a new moon, Sharon. Sharon, it's a new moon. Oh, man. Hello, happy Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Celeste, I literally said that to somebody. I said, happy Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to you. Hey, Tanisha, happy birthday. Awesome. Thank you. LA Rocks, La Rocks, thank you. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Hey, Ramadan Mubarak. I think I said that right. Hopefully, sorry if I didn't. But hope all of you all who are fasting and such for Ramadan are doing well. Look at y'all on YouTube. Thanks, Jamia. Yaya Simone. Somebody whose name that looks like Jazz Mia Clid backwards. Hey, Karen, thanks. Hey, Bev. Hi, Canada. Thanks. Oh, this is the lipstick, guys. Let's see it. It's Nurse. A card for you struggling. Aisha. Okay. I see you. I got you, girl. Okay, let me go ahead and pull these cards for you. I'm gonna choose two people um from YouTube and Instagram and pull a card or two for y'all. Hey, Aya. I just need y'all to know that Aya Simone is my inspiration. She is so fly, and I legit just be staring at Aya's Instagram because she's so fine. I'm not even gonna lie. And then she just posted that video of herself twerking again, and I just wasn't prepared. Um, Thanks for sharing your skills. I might need some lessons, Aya, because I don't have it like that. All right. Um, let's see here. Isha Weber on Instagram. What we got for you, boo? All right. FYI, you cannot be a former or current client of mine if I'm pulling a card for you. These are for people who haven't experienced the goodness that is what I have to offer. All right. Isha, you've got the moon on the bottom. This is really where we all are, to be honest, but the moon is fear and uncertainty because you really cannot see. I feel like this is like a card for everybody, but this is for Aya. Um, yeah, it's random. I just pick a person, just live. Um, Moon is the inability to see because it's dark. You just don't, you can't see, so you don't know. You're uncertain. It's fear. Hey, Giselle, boo. It's uncertain, and you don't know what's coming. Um, and oftentimes the moon comes up when the fear is really such that I feel like spirit's telling you not to attach too much to the fear because it's just the nature of the game. Like when you can't see clearly and you really just don't have any way to know, it's natural to fear. So let's see what this is about. We've got the Ten of Swords. All right, Isha, I need you to find some people who you trust who can hold on, who can counteract the tapes that you play in your mind. You're stuck in a cycle of fear. You just keep thinking about things over and over again, and you keep trying to control things by thinking about them too much, Isha. So I really need you to find someone who can offer you some perspective outside of your mind. And you need to get out of your head. You need to do something with your body. You need to interact with other people. You need to do something physical, clean, something that is very immediate and physical. Hey, Krista, right now, because you're really stuck in your head in this like negative loop and cycle of thinking about things too much, and you just can't, there's nothing you can do. So I understand that you may have an issue or a problem that's really taking your time and energy, but Aisha, I need you to really get in your body and out of your head, get out of the future and come to the present. Hey, Emerald Green, Chi-Town representing. All right. I hope that was helpful for you. Okay. Who else wants me to pull a card for them on Instagram? Okay. Let me do somebody on YouTube. I'll come back from Instagram. Hey, Raven Wolf 68. Thank you. Thanks, Olivia. Tanisha, I'll pull a card for you. Uh-oh. And while I'm pulling a card for one person on YouTube, Instagram, if you want me to pull a card for you, just wait, raise your hand, say, hey. If you're on YouTube, please like this video. If y'all want people to know about me, if you want people to experience what you experience, like this video, because nobody's going to know about me on YouTube unless you tell the algorithm that I exist. And in order for the algorithm to know that I exist, you have to come back and comment on this video after it's posted. Share the link to your friends to watch this video. Otherwise, nobody's going to know who I am. Don't be selfish, you guys. Don't hold on to me for your own personal means. Share me. Equal opportunity oracle. I am the people's oracle. You understand? All right. Who did I say I was pulling for? Tanisha. I'm coming back to you, Instagram. All right, Tanisha. Let's see here. We've got the star, optimism, hope. This is like the opposite of the moon, right? Because the moon is like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't see. Legit me, for real. But the star is hope and optimism and a vision for the future. Star is just thinking and sitting in a space of being visionary, not necessarily taking actions, but having a feeling of being in the space that you want to create or to materialize in the future. So let's see here. It is 11 a.m. Central, Layla, but I can come on here early and draw a card for people. Thank you very much. All right, Ace of Swords. So this really looks like you, it's time for you to make a decision, Tanisha, and to really stand firm on your truth and the vision that you have for your life. Whatever truth you've been holding in, whatever truth you've had difficulty recognizing or speaking to other people, this is your moment. I feel a real sense of entitlement around these cards, around you having withheld speaking up for yourself and being honest and telling the truth. I don't know if this is career or love or relationship or job, but whatever it is that you're envisioning, this is your moment. This Ace of Swords really amplifies and turns up the volume, that whatever you say now, whatever truth that you are embodying or speaking now, either to yourself or others, can be heard. Whatever vision that you have, put it on paper, write it down. It's time to move from the vision to the write it on paper and put it into words. I feel like I don't really believe in manifesting like that, but I feel like for you, this is going to be a real step into making this thing come to fruition in reality, to get it out of your head and put it on paper, and really take that next step to materializing the vision that it is, the vision that you have for yourself and for your life. These are really productive cards for you, Tanisha. Okay, who's over here on Instagram that wants me to pull a card? And Victoria, I see you. That's the first one I saw when I scrolled up. Oh, dag. Sorry, I skipped over a whole bunch of people. Oh, wow, I missed all of this. Dag. Okay, sorry. Y'all got to come next time. Giselle, you don't get a card because people who are clients don't get cards. Okay, So, EH Victoria, this is for you. I just scrolled up. Sorry, I missed all of y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're on YouTube, please like this video. Please comment. Please share. you know, no one's going to know who I am on YouTube until you guys tell them. So please be sure to share and like and comment and subscribe. Share. You're welcome, Tanisha. Like, comment, subscribe. All right. Victoria. Let's see. And then I'm going to come back for one more person on YouTube. So if you want a card, let me know. I see some folks. All right. Victoria, 10 of Cups, emotional resolution. Finally figuring out how you feel about something, Victoria. Really coming to a place of emotional clarity. If you have been waffling back and forth or really trying to explore your feelings, this card can indicate that. This card can also indicate family and those relationships being important right now, whether they're chosen family or blood family. This sense of emotional support and shared experiences that bond you, wanting to feel close in a sense of community. Okay, Victoria, the card here is the Seven of Wands. So I get the sense that you've really been working on building up an emotional support system in your life. And perhaps because of this moment that we're all in, Victoria, you're feeling threatened, that the hard work that you've put towards establishing relationships or just kind of settling things in your family or emotional life feels threatened. But the Seven of Wands is telling you that you're going to have to be active and intentional in maintaining the emotional connections that you need to feel and be supported. Don't get lax. This is not inevitable, meaning that the relationships and the connections that you fought hard to build, it's not inevitable that they're going to fall away, but you're going to have to put some effort in. So if you tend to be a more passive person in your relationships where you allow the other people to take the initiative in maintaining the connection, this Seven of Wands is saying that you need to be the person to really put your best foot forward and try to act contrary to whatever your habits are in maintaining relationships. Don't take them for granted and really, really put energy there so that they can sustain and maintain you. All right. One last person here. I've read for what I'm assuming are, well, I'm not even going to say that because, you know, I don't want to make any assumptions about anybody's genders. Okay, Donovan, I see you. I'm pulling a card for you. Pulling a card for you. Hey, Destiny. All right, last person. Donovan. 9 of Cups. This is the card of satisfaction, really liking the way that things are in your life, feeling pleased, just kind of things working out. Thanks, Destiny. Really things working out the way that you want. It's a really positive card. So let's see what the thing is. King of Wands. So this is really about taking control over your life and feeling like you have some authority. I just get the feeling that this moment that you're in, Donovan, is one where you are finally feeling like your actions matter, that the things you set your energy to, like you finally have a say in your life. I think this is just encouragement for you that if that's what you're feeling like, this is real. Don't doubt it. Don't feel afraid. Don't feel like you're going to lose it, and really capitalize. I hate that word. Take advantage of this moment and work it. You know, you have the opportunity to make some things turn in your favor. So don't, you know, recoil into your shell or feel shy or anything like that. You really have to go for it. Okay. That's all. Let's talk about this new moon, people. I'm ready. How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? Yeah. So thank you, Orca Whale. That's so funny. I love it. Orca Whale. Okay. So, yeah, I've got my 2020 Sidereal Astrology Guide. If you have your 2020, thank Hotep-esque, oh my God, that y'all are so funny with these names. You're welcome, Donovan. If you have the 2020 Sidereal Guide, please pull it up because it might be useful to you. I'm going to reference this today in my sermon. It's kind of like a Bible, you know what I mean? All right. So, we've got this here, people. Aries enforces will. This is the little sign for Aries. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. You see, each planet here has two natures. So when we come to Aries, we are in the fiery nature of Mars. And so, awesome, wise flowetry. Aries enforces the will, acts according to individual capability and strength, expresses the will through physical action, freedom to move and exercise strength. And just pause for a moment here, just a little bit of an announcement. If you have questions on Instagram, please use the question box. Do not ask me questions in the chat flow because I will lose it and I won't be able to keep track of it. So please, if you have a question, put it in the question box and I will answer them at the end. And actually wait until I tell you, because if this video runs out, I'm gonna have to start it over and then I'm gonna lose all of those questions. So just wait until I field questions. If you have questions on YouTube, please hold them until I ask for questions, okay? So yeah, Aries enforces the will. And the part that's so important here is acts according to individual strength and capability. Can you all just see, before I even go deep into the astrology, how this is so relevant to this moment, that we are collectively experiencing something that is thwarting our individual wills. Oh, come on. YouTube is not receiving this one, whatever. I hope my internet doesn't go off on YouTube because it's been acting funny. How do I close this? Great. Just great, YouTube. Oh. Figure that out. Aries, I feel like I should really be doing this in order that's only occurring to me after I start talking. So let me just say this to you guys up front. I am a sidereal astrologer exclusively. So anything that I say in this video only applies to your sidereal birth chart. You can go to my website, thepeoplesoracle.com, and click Sidereal Birth Chart. It will take you to a blog post with instructions teaching you how to use astro.com to cast your sidereal birth chart. I cannot vouch for other websites that are giving you charts. I know that astro.com is going to be consistently accurate because they have a correct and accurate ephemeris from which to draw the planetary placements. Okay, so with that being said, when I'm talking about Aries, I'm only talking about sidereal Aries. I'm not talking about your tropical chart. I'm not talking about the tropical Aries that you know. I'm not talking about what you think tropical Aries is. I'm talking about sidereal Aries. So please open your mind, right? So sidereal Aries is about enforcing the individual will. And if you go to the back of the guide, you'll see that I have these fill in the blanks, which I have filled in because, you know, I use it too. And I have these fill in the blanks for each astrological event that's in this calendar. And so for the new moon in Aries, I wrote recharging my focus and ambitions. And it's so crazy when I write these because when I wrote those, it was the middle of last year, middle of 2019. So I didn't know a pandemic was coming. I knew that there were going to be events related to Saturn that were going to thwart our individual will. And I even saw that we might be dealing with some kind of pneumonia. But I just, at the time, didn't make the connection that it was going to turn out like this. So I titled this tarot sermon, You're Not the Boss of Me, because my thought process was twofold. One, obviously, people don't want to be told what to do. They're tired of being told what to do, and they've had enough. And they're out in these streets, very few people, and I should mention, are out in these streets saying, you can't tell me what to do. There are people who really have never really stuck to the quarantine and the stay-at-home orders because you can't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me. But this moment is so, so important in our collective development, in our relationship with power. I'm going to introduce you to a concept for Aries that you may not have ever heard before. And that is that Aries is about the mind and the intellect. Why? The sun is actually exalted in Aries. And exaltation is just a way to say that the sun has some special authority in Aries. And if the sun is the organ of the intellect and mental perception, if the sun is the planet of intellectualism, right? Then in Aries, it means that the mind is subdued by the will, that I can direct and control my focus of my mind. I can accomplish things because I can subdue my mind with my will. This whole thing of like mind over matter, this is Aries. So this sense that I can control my world, I can control my perceptions, I can enforce my will through controlling my mind, right? Now, this is not some think happy thoughts things. This is really like if you have any ambition, you need to be able to focus and not be distracted. If you have any goal, you need to be able to clearly discern a proper pathway to success. You really need to be able to take proper stock of what is around you in order to realize those ambitions. So some of the words I want to offer around Aries are subduing the mind, really controlling your focus, right? This is about ambition, recharging your focus and ambition, redirecting your will, redirecting your mind. This is so important because at this moment, we are being thrown back on ourselves. And I have some notes in my phone that I wrote like last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. And I want to share them with you really quickly because it's super relevant to this moment. Okay. So up until this moment, all of the barriers and boundaries, all of the expectations, all of really the government and the education system and corporate structures and capitalism. These are the boundaries and institutions and structures that have defined what ambition is for us, right? So for example, if you work in a corporation and you want to get a promotion, right? You want to make more money. Your ambitions are defined by the parameters set by the corporate structure you're a part of. If you want to become a doctor, if you want to help people, right? Even the options that are available to you are defined by corporate structures. They're defined by educational institutions. They're defined by these rules, this test you have to take, and these metrics that you have to reach, right? But at this moment, we are being thrown back on ourselves. And it's so fascinating because we have lived in this space of rebellion, of really vying for control of ourselves and our lives. And at this moment, when we're being thrown back on ourselves in so many ways, we don't know how to act. We don't know how to choose for ourselves without having something or someone to rebel against, right? We often make these false binaries around our ambitions. Hey, Telescope. We often make these false binaries around our ambitions, right? Because we don't want to be told what to do. We want to decide for ourselves. Are you going to work for a corporation or are you going to work for yourself? Are you going to get a degree or are you going to go to a trade or are you just going to, figure it out on your own, right? All of these binaries and the way that the institutions are structured define our ambitions for us. And so this moment is really an amazing moment to be thrown back on our own faculties. But here's the issue. We have daddy issues. My good friend on Twitter, Martha, she goes by Shrink Thinks. She calls it a daddy hole, right? We're in a daddy hole because we really don't know how to trust our own perceptions, right? We don't know how to trust our own eyes. So I said here, we are thrown back on ourselves. There is nothing to act as a proxy or go between. Between the individual will and the limits of the material world. So these structures are this is so deep, right? When I do my Saturn return reading, I always talk about how our parents are our proxy Saturn, and Saturn is actually your prefrontal cortex, right? So the whole Saturn cycle is the development of your prefrontal cortex. So when you come to your Saturn return, at least physiologically, your prefrontal cortex is matured, right? So the prefrontal cortex is talking about our capacity to make decisions, to foresee consequences, to trust our own judgment, and to be able to gauge what the outcome of our choices are going to be, right? And so in society, first our parents are our proxy prefrontal cortex. They are the people who act as a go-between the world, that we don't really have the capacity or the experience or the physiological development of our brain to actually make decisions. This is why kids run into traffic and they let go of their parents' hand and stick their hands in the dog's mouth and touch the stove and do all of these things, because their brains really don't have the experience to shape the prefrontal cortex, to mature it so that they can make decisions. So now at this moment, so many of these proxy structures, including the government, schools, all of these different rules, they're falling away. And we're thrown back on our ability to trust our own judgment. Look at how people are begging for these structures back. They're begging for someone to tell them what to do. They're pitting themselves against authority figures because somebody make their brains develop, right? So we are learning real agency and control, making decisions based on our own ability to foresee consequences and outcomes. This is so important, because you're not the boss of me is really saying you can't tell me what to do. But again, you're not really free if your only means to freedom is rebelling against someone else's authority. Real freedom, real liberation is recognizing the power and agency that you actually do have. It's not relying on someone else to tell you where the limits are, and developing the capacity to really see what the limits are. This moment, this new moon, features a square between Aries and Capricorn that sticks with us until and through February 2021. This Aries new moon is so important. It is absolutely critical to the astrology of the rest of this year. This moment where we have the sun and moon both square Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn is indicative and giving us a preview of a square that is going to be hot this fall and winter and January and February of 2021. And that is a square between Mars in Aries and Saturn in Capricorn, right? And then again, Jupiter in Capricorn once we get to 2021. This square is the get your weight up square. This square is this a real wall or limit that is denying me? Or is this a barrier that I must make changes in my own strength and abilities to overcome? If I walk up to a weight that weighs 200 pounds and I try to pick it up, I can hurt myself. I could look at it and just say, that's too heavy, I'm not going to do it, and just forget about it. Or I could be like, you know what? I'm going to lift that weight. I'm going to take the next 6 months to build up my strength so I can lift this weight. Now, that is a complex decision-making process, because do I have 6 months, right? Do I have 6 months? That's the real question. Do I have time? This is really it, right? That time is this real Saturn factor that we're all dealing with. And sometimes it's just like, you could do what you want to do, just wait, right? This is the crux of this here. This is the crux of Aries. This is the crux of Capricorn and their square relationship with each other. Boundaries and limits, whether in the form of adults or authority figures who implement them in your life, whether it's in the form of a virus, right? These things are not telling you anything about your individual capabilities. This is important. You can have the ability to do something like lift a weight, walk, run, go to the park, catch a movie, throw a party at the beach. These are things that you have the ability to do. You can, right? If you've got money, if you've got strength, if you've got friends, you can do it. But what Saturn is saying to us right now, beyond should you do it, are you willing to accept the consequences of your choices? Are you willing to deal with the reality that you're going to face should you act on your own capabilities, right? So we have, can you accept the consequences? With real power, with real ability comes responsibility. Meaning you have to be, like if you're gonna be that big and bad to do it, then you gotta deal with the consequences. And that's just the way that life is, right? Back in the day, we had parents to protect us. At some point, we even had the government to protect us. Maybe you didn't have parents to protect you, but you get my point, right? We have these protective mechanisms, caregivers, the government, school, rules. Even rules are there to protect you from the consequences of you acting on your own abilities. But the issue is that the consequences are not going to go away because you screamed about it. Like, do what you want. Absolutely. Right? But deal with the consequences. That's what this new moon is about. That's what this square is about, that we're going to be dealing with all year. If you don't take anything away from what I just said, I really want you to understand that this moment is giving us a taste of real freedom. And I know it seems contrary to what the circumstances say to us, but this is a moment of real freedom because the rules are temporarily suspended, right? The rules about who works what job when and what requirements are for that. There is no school. No one's graduating. So let's throw out these these you need a degree for this. Ain't no degree, ain't no school, ain't no class, ain't no course, right? Your capabilities, your abilities, this is what we have the opportunity to really come into right relationship with. Just going back to recharging my focus and ambitions, taking appropriate stock of the resources that are available to you, really foreseeing the consequences of your choices, reframing your direction in light of what is way is really open, weighing the measure of, okay, if I do this, what are the consequences going to be? When we come to this full moon in Libra in a couple of weeks, this is going to be really apparent that there are consequences, not just consequences materially, but there are also social consequences in the form of jail. I imagine that over the next couple of weeks, you know, some states might get real, there's going to be a lot of legal stuff going on around the laws and agency around governments and individual states and things like that, as well as people putting into place rules and ordinances for following certain rules around leaving your home. Hey, Brittany, I'm wearing that. So let's go ahead and pull these cards. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're on Instagram, thank you so much. If you're on Instagram and you have a YouTube account, please go and like this video. Again, as I told the people on YouTube, no one's going to know who I am unless y'all tell them. So tell them, let them know, share, show love. This is for the new moon. You are not the boss of me. You're absolutely right. No one is the boss of you. You're your own boss, right? You're your own boss. You get to decide what you do, but you're going to have to deal with them consequences, boo. And for some people, unfortunately, the consequence is death. Thank you, Nia Chardonnay. Hey, Papa Boko. Hey, Tori. right? For some people at this moment, the consequences of death. And guess what? It may not be your death. You might be putting somebody else's life in danger. That's the real Saturn thing. Like, we can't paint a pretty picture, right? And make it something that it's not. That ain't what it is, my friends. All right. Thanks, Anna the Based God. Thanks, Veronica. I haven't forgot about that. Don't know what that was. Haven't forgot about that blog post. Veronica Perez there is a great translator and interpreter, and has interpreted or translated some blog posts for me that I have yet to put up because time management, man, priorities, life is rough. All right, card on the bottom is going to be our significator for this, 5 of Pentacles. This is the card of lack, and I don't mean in your new age Abraham Hicks the Secret kind of way. I mean, you literally do not have something that you need, something that you want, missing out, right? Right? The 5 of Pentacles is like this card is really like, help me, please, please. Whew, this is so deep because this card, as I'm seeing it, is really talking to me about expecting institutions and certain people to offer you help and assistance, and they got you out there like, can't help you, sorry, I don't got it. Pulling, $500 out of their pockets here and there, and you ask them for $1, they're like, ooh, sorry, can't help, right? So this 5 of Pentacles, there's a lot about neglect in here. There's a lot about misuse of resources and time. There's a lot about things being broken, unavailable, not in working order, being left out, neglected, not having what you need, missing something, wanting something, needing something. When I say lack, this is in a real literal way. Again, I'm not talking about in a new age kind of abundance way. I'm talking about in like, man, you need $50 and you ain't got it. Right? So that's the 5 of Pentacles for everyone. And I can't even tell if y'all can actually see this. Yep. All right. So now we have the Sun. Oh, that's such a beautiful card. Look at that. That's so beautiful. I love it. And I love that we drawn the Sun, and I'm talking about the Sun exalted in Aries. It's beautiful. Star. This is fascinating. And 6 of Cups. This is a fascinating reading, children, saints, elders, mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, best friends, sister, girls, brothers, thems, theys, these, zims, and z's. Wow. Oddly enough, this is a kind of hopeful and optimistic reading. But we got to get through the Sun first. And let me just tell you about this Sun card. This, take it from me. Take it from me. Take it from experience. This card will set you straight. This card will have you out here like, oh, okay, right? This card will burn away your illusion and your delusion and leave you out here seeing things real clearly with no room for your feelings, no room for your opinions, no room for what you think you want, like, need. This Sun card, the sun is hot. Don't play with the sun. Go out there without no sunblock on and tell me what happens to your skin. Go out there and look at the sun. Just go stare at it. Tell me what happens to your eyeballs. All them idiots that stared at the sun during the eclipse, right? This is not a cute card. It's cute to look at, but in real life experience, the sun can really be jarring. It can, and I don't want to say wake up call. I want it to be like just imagine you walk into a room and y'all so funny, dry and ashy. Just imagine you walk into a poorly lit room and you're kind of moving around. You can't really tell what stuff is. And then someone comes and turns on that bright light, and that furry thing that you kicked was actually a raccoon, and now you tripping out because you thought it was just your dog Toto and it was a raccoon in your living room, and now what you gonna do, right? That's the sun. The sun really be like, oop, hit them lights, girl. Can you see now? Hit them lights, boo. Can you see? Right? The sun is very much a clarity that it dissolves the water. It dissolves your feelings about things, right? It makes it so that you can really see very, very, very clearly. And sometimes it could be a jarring experience because you just didn't have the insight or the clarity before. So I think that this is really pairing well with this Five of Pentacles, and really just being able to say that certain people do not have your back. The federal government does not have our back. They are not checking for us. They are neglecting us. They stealing our taxes and sending it to other states, right? They're misappropriating funds. They're stealing money for personal purposes, right? So this, so far, thank you, A Rainy Day. So far, this is really about coming to terms with the reality of where your support system lies. This is about coming to terms with really just seeing clearly, maybe for the first time, that who or what you thought was there for you, who or what you thought had your back is just not there. And because there's no cups cards, well, except the Six of Cups, but there's no Five of Cups, there's no, Eight of Cups. This is not a moment where we're like, oh my God, they don't love me anymore, and they're not going to help me, and they're not going to be there for me, and they're not going to support me, and they're not going to, right? It's like, we don't have time for that. We don't have time for whining. We don't have time for tantrums. This is about, it is what it is. Maybe there'll be another moment where we can be in our feelings and be sad and grieve over it. But this is an Aries new moon, boo. This is not a Cancer new moon, and it is not a Cancer full moon, because that February 7th was trash. That was a trash new moon, right? So this is not about being in your feelings. This is about facing the light. Sometimes we go like this because we don't want to be seen, or we don't want to see. We cover our faces in the scary movie, and we like, do we really want to see what's going to happen? And this is like, nope, no time for that. The light's going to just bleed right through your fingers anyway. So then we get to the Star. This is just really a hopeful and optimistic reading, because it's really just like, once you accept the truth of who people are to you, of whether or not these institutions can really support you, then you can actually move and take action. This is what I mean when I was talking about we're being thrown back on ourselves, and we have the opportunity for real freedom. Real freedom means that you can see real clearly and be real honest about what is. You can't be free if you're holding on to delusions. You cannot be free if your sense of entitlement relies in somebody else giving you something, right? If that's the only place your entitlement lies. There's a time for that, right? And when we get to Cancer transits, we'll have that moment to deal with that. But at this moment, this is really about, in order for you to realize, and as I said in the 2020 Sidereal Astrology Guide here, this is towards the end, in the fill in the blanks under April, recharging my focus and ambitions. So you have to recharge your focus and ambitions, because some systems, some structures that you were expecting to be there and shore you up are no longer there. The people who have been your support system are no longer there. The relationships and connections that have been your support system, right? They're no longer there. And so with this clarity, we come to the Star. And the Star is about having a vision. These two cards together really are about a clear vision. And if you remember what I said about Aries and it being an intellectual sign and subduing our intellect and our focus to our will that gets you just in focus mode and on top of it, and mind over matter, and just like no distractions, right? That's Aries. That's the sun exalted in Aries. It keeps going in and out on YouTube, you guys. So come over to Instagram if it's not working. Sorry. Um, so this is about recharging your focus and ambitions. Think about the plans that you had. Excuse me. Hold on. Think about the plans and ambitions that you had back in January. Think about the plans and ambitions you had a year ago from now, right? A year ago. What were those goals and ambitions that you have? How are you reconfiguring and recharging and refocusing your ambitions in light of the reality that you deal with now, right? Right? How are you dealing with those ambitions? Are they realistic? For some people, right? For some people, your ambitions, the way is opening up for you. For other people, the door has just been slammed in your face. And because we're dealing with Saturn and Capricorn, it's like, are you going to stand there and wait for it open? Maybe it'll only be a couple of hours. Maybe it might be 3 years, right? So how are you recharging your focus and ambitions in the context of realizing what it is that you actually have available to you in terms of resources and support? Okay. Then we get to the Six of Cups. I kind of like this card. It always makes me happy when I see it. I get the feeling that there are some past things that we collectively didn't perceive as possible, some hopes that we had that had to get set aside or put to rest. And the Six of Cups is about people and things from the past returning. So despite the Five of Pentacles being such this card of lack, I really do feel like there is a moment for us to reconnect to something from the past, to reconnect to ambitions from the past, to really say that, you know, I imagine some inner dialogue can look like, I chose this particular path, career, romantic, where I live, health-wise, whatever it may be. I chose this based on the options that were given to me by my family, by my upbringing, by the structures, by the schools, by what they said I needed to do to get here, right? But so many of those things are falling away that it really is a time to like really step back and be like, okay, wait, what is it that I'm really trying to accomplish? What really are my ambitions? Now, I want to just give you some perspective time-wise here, because this new moon is really just the beginning of, let's see, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, of a 10-month story here. So over the next 10 months, we're going to look back to this moment and we're going to be thinking about the ways that our ambitions and our focus shifted and changed because we were willing to be responsible and come into right relationship with our power and what we are really capable of. This is going to be a moment we look back on and say, it was from this moment that I shifted my direction, that I made peace with the loss of the path that I was on before, that I've set aside some ambitions that aren't realistic right now, that I've changed what it is that I wanted to do, that I opened up to the possibility of my life, my career, my relationship, my living situation, my home and my family, my health being a different way, right? That this is about my own ambitions and where I'm directing my energy and focus, and how Saturn is coming in, or not coming, Saturn is here, and it's kind of like, okay, these two ways are blocked now. So this is the real space that you have to go through. These are the options. And I'm going to tell you something. There's something absolutely liberating and empowering when our choices are limited. When our choices are limited, that whole, we get paralyzed by choice. You ever go to the store and you just be standing in the aisle forever? Or you need to make a purchase and you spend a week reading reviews? That's me. You spend a week reading reviews and figuring out what your options are and what all of the specs are. It just becomes impossible to choose after a while, because really 80 to 90% of those options you're not even interested in. But because they're there, you have to consider them, right? So let's think about, in your career choices. Oh, should I do this? Or should I do that? Or should I do this? Guess what? In real life, even before those moments, many of these options were not even available to you. They just appeared to be. And because of our sense of entitlement about being able to do what we want to do, we lived in the false world that all of these options were actually available to us. Yes, I have a gazillion possible choices for a partner. Yes, I can do it. I can make $1 million. I can become this. I can become that. I can do this. And it's like, grow up. And let's just be really real here. That many of these things really were not an option or a choice for you. And so thank Saturn. Thank Saturn for helping you with the process of elimination. Thank Saturn for making it very starkly clear to you that this is not really an option for you anyway, so you need to just direct your attention this way, right? Thank Saturn for really helping you to reconnect with what is really going to bring you fulfillment, right? Because the fact of the matter is that so many of these options just really were not available to you and you couldn't see them. So now you can and say thank you, right? Decision fatigue. I love that. I love that. I love that so much. So who from the past? What from the past? What ambitions? What relationships? What pathways? What goals? Where are you putting your energy? That's really the question of Aries. Your focus and your physical energy. What are you taking actual physical steps and actions toward? Who or what from the past is offering a new clarity, insight, and opportunity on those things? What things have you set aside that you no longer were putting your physical energy into because they didn't seem realistic, but they're really the most realistic option now, right? Because of these circumstances that we found ourselves in. That is all that I have to say about these readings. I want to take some questions from you guys. I feel like I was not expecting this today. I was expecting to have to like beat y'all up a little bit and tell y'all to, but I feel like these cards are really a lot more hopeful and optimistic than I had planned for them to be, or that I had thought that they were going to be to us. So if you have questions on YouTube, you can put them in the chat box. If you have questions on on Instagram, look, there are, let me answer the questions that are in this box first. So if you have a question, is the sun the truth? Is the sun the truth? Layla asked that question, and I know Layla has this. As a matter of fact, let me see if I could turn this around so y'all can see this. Right? Layla, do you have this? Let me show y'all what I'm showing you. There you go. This is what I'm showing, Layla. If you have this, it's on my store. This is the twin. We still have eclipses in, come on. We still have eclipses in Gemini and Sagittarius, so this is useful. I'm going to be like giving this away or selling it real soon. If you have a question, please put it in the question box. Layla asked me, is the sun the truth? And I'm just going to direct you to this. Okay. What else do we have here? How do we interpret this new moon in regard to the houses? I have the 2020 Sidereal Astrology Guide. If you go to the month of April here, here's a summary here. So someone's asking, how do they interpret the new moon regard to their natal houses? So here is the summary for April, but these questions here that are in red are interpreting it for your chart, okay? So just answer the questions on this page and you'll be interpreting it for your chart. And then you need to answer this question here in the back to interpret it for your chart. Okay. Um, Someone asked, does it change things with someone's natal Rahu in Aries? Um, I, I don't really know. Sorry, that's outside of my expertise. Um, I got 5 minutes left on Instagram. So, does anybody have any more questions? Anybody have any more questions? You got questions? Okay. I know it might take a little time for y'all to catch up on YouTube. Um, any questions on Instagram? Put them in the question box. Do you think that Saturn pushing to accept reality is what is hopeful? People needing to see with their own eyes? Some people will never see. I think that, uh, I mean, I'm biased for Saturn, so I'm going to say yes, but I realize everybody is not going to be, like some people are just going to run, full speed into the wall and have to bust their head. And that's just the way that it is. Okay. How can you advise to move from this new moon to the next? I feel like I really answered that in this video. So if you just tuned in, you just have to go back and watch it from the beginning. Okay. Did you speak on the Six of Cups? Yes. That was the very last thing I said. So you have to rewind it or watch it again. I've only got a few minutes. So if I already addressed it, you guys just have to watch the video. Okay. Look at the bottom of the page called calendar. Yeah. One of the cool things I wanted to point out in here was the names that I gave each month, right? So for the month of April, it's called resisting regulation. Oh man, I'm just so good at this stuff, man. It's great. But that's what it is, resisting regulation. Now, when we come back to September, it's called resisting reality. And so that's going to be really interesting. I feel like I should have switched those, though, that April really should have been resisting reality and September should be resisting regulation. But alas, we're here. Thanks, Lynn, for giving people answer to that question. Yeah, so if you have the 2020 Sidereal Astrology Guide, read the instructions, okay? Read the instructions. How to begin. How to begin. Anatomy of the guide, right? And then you put your birth chart here. And then here. Okay, I got 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Any significance, RE, men, boys, male energy. I mean, we live in the patriarchy, and so obviously most of our leaders are men. But yeah, what popped in my head when you said that is like head injuries. Um, yeah, I don't know. Why are doors opening for others and closing for some? Because Instagram, I'm going to end this stream and I'm going to go on YouTube. I mean, I'm on YouTube. So if you want to join me, please click the link in my bio on Instagram and join me on YouTube where I'm still answering questions. So someone asked, why are doors opening for some and closing for others? It's, I mean, the short one word answer is fate. Everybody just has a different deck of cards that, have a different cards that they're playing with. What I'm seeing with my clients in especially, right now I'm looking, when I have clients, I'm looking at everybody's Chinese astrology, because I remember last year when me and my friend Reed were talking about 2020, I was telling her, and I might have even said this on Twitter, that 2020 is going to be really, really, really bad for some folks, and it's going to be really, 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 really good um, for other folks. Um, wow. Wow. Dang, my live is gone on Instagram, y'all. It just disappeared. Wow. That's real bogus. Okay. Wow, that sucks. Instagram's whack. Um, so the flow of elements in 2020 changed really drastically from 2019 and 2018. I mean, it was like a complete 180, like a totally different conversation. And so what that meant for some people is that they really struggled, in 2016, 17, 18, 19. But then we get to 2020, and like this is the elemental flow that they've been waiting for. They've been waiting for water, and they've been waiting for metal. And so their charts, this is great for them. But you can see that in a really literal sense, just as far as, business and economy is concerned, because are, some businesses are booming. Zoom, right? This is a water industry because it's connecting people. It's a mercurial industry, and so they're booming. If you have a platform that connects people through video, if you have a platform that allows people to virtually gather, right, then you're going to be doing really well at this moment. If your business has always been online and always been about connecting with people online, then your business is going to do really, really, really well. If your company has already been adapting to work from home and have structures in place, then you're going to do really, really, really well. If your business never required people to become in person anyway, right? So some of it is just really literal. Veronica says, how would you encourage someone else in your life to recharge their focus and ambitions? Oh, no, you can't do that. I mean, you can encourage them um, verbally, um, but this is one of those things, like where Celeste says, some people are just going to have to bump their head up against the wall. And you have to recognize some people are just really slow to change. It's traumatic for them to change and shift their energy. And so it's going to take them a little bit longer to like recognize reality. If people have Capricorn, and excluding Saturn, if people have Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter rising in Capricorn, these are going to be people who really have already lived their life having to really assess reality very soberly. And their sense of entitlement had already been tempered by experience. And so they don't have this strong sense of, I can do what I want to do. They have a stronger sense of, let me see what I can do with this, right? And that's the energy that wins right now. The energy that wins right now is not, I'm going to do what I want to do and you can't tell me what to do. The energy that wins right now is, let me see what I can do with this, right? Approaching with curiosity, approaching with humility, approaching with resourcefulness, right? Sobriety. I can't remember if you said if you were shipping guides or just PDF. I actually am shipping guides, and there are some left in my store. And right now, you can get a whole bunch of stuff for free if you purchase this guide. So you can go to shop.peoplesoracle. It'll be in the description of this video, and you can get a printed and bound copy of this. Oh, wow. I'm matching my guide today. Cute. Let's see. Anyone know what happened? I don't know. Any other questions? Any other questions here, people? Wow, I'm so pissed at Instagram. Like, usually I'm able to save the video and to share it, but you can't even. Oh, well. Good thing I be dual broadcasting these things, because Instagram has been acting really crazy. Do you think Taurus rising? Um, you all be asking me to read people's charts on here. You're not fooling nobody, Veronica. I can't make that judgment just based off rising sign. How do people who are their own authority engage with each other? I'm not really sure I understand that question, Christina. Can you ask it again in a different way? How do people who are their own authority engage with each other? What rituals do you recommend for us to do on this new moon? I'm not really a rituals person. I'm a this kind of person. And so a this kind of person means you go to the month of April in the 2020 Sidereal Astrology Guide, and you answer these questions. Describe the current state of affairs in your Aries house. What is the vision you hold for your Aries house? How can you use the constraints you're encountering, establishing in your Capricorn house to build towards your vision in your Aries house? And it's very important that you use the significations that I've given here for the 12 houses, as well as what the signs means here. So this is my ritual. My ritual is to go in the 2020 Sidereal Astrology Guide. Have I even figured this out? Yeah, I've already written down like what the vision I hold. That's so crazy that that's the question I asked, and the cards were like so parallel to this question with the sun and the star around vision. So my ritual is to create timelines, and I use the 2020 Sidereal Astrology Guide to do that. You can download a PDF of this, or you can get a printed and bound copy. I'm actually going to put some in the mail today. So if you want one, go order it now, and I'll put it in the mail when I get off this video. Okay. I'm thinking in interpersonal relationships, the workplace. What about your energy and agency is in conflict with someone else? Right. So this is where opposing signs and the inherent you can't tear apart the relationship between opposing signs. And so Libra is the other side of that. And we're not quite at Libra. Right now, we're being asked to clarify our own vision. Sometimes when you clarify your own vision and your own ambition, and you remove yourself from the impulse to be contrary just for the sake of being contrary, or being rebellious or standoffish for the sake of being standoffish, you eventually come to realize that you have more common ground with other people than you thought. But you have to refine your own vision first, and then you can look for common ground. So I wouldn't worry too much about conflict at this moment. Mars is in Capricorn, and so the reality is that I wouldn't spend too much time trying to convince and debate with people right now. You just got to let people run into the wall at this moment. You can't save people from themselves, right? People need to learn where the limits of their world are on their own. And we're dealing with adults here. These aren't children for the most part. Okay. Are those still for sale? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I think that's all the questions. Oh, do I know anything about that? Nope. You are still taking questions. Yes, yes, I am. How did you discover your gift? Oh man. That's a tough question to answer, Tamia. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know. I've been a dreamer since I was a child. I remember dreams I had in kindergarten. Like I've always been a vivid dreamer. I started having like premonition dreams in like 5th grade. I realized I could interpret dreams when I was a teenager. It's just that somebody one day was sharing their dreams and my brain was like, this is what it means. With astrology, I just gravitated towards it. And when the opportunity came to learn about it, somebody just crossed my path and said, hey, you want to study? And we started studying together. That was 13 years ago, and here I am. Will you be making a guide for Saturn returns? Could that be a thing? I do have a Saturn return reading that you can book. I've been thinking about putting together a Saturn in Capricorn support group, but much like all of you guys, my own ambitions have had to be refocused and recharged because it's a really difficult being on lockdown. And while I would love to work all the time, and I don't mean that facetiously, I mean literally, I would love to work all the time. I just don't have the physical energy and I have other obligations. I'm seeing clients and I have a child and I still have to take care of myself and I have personal life things going on as well. But give me a minute. I really would like to put together a Saturn and Capricorn support group and we would just meet, once a week for a given time. So give me a minute. In this particular guide, though, who's asking me that question? Shaw Tibre. In this guide, though, if you go to December, I mean, I really put everything in here. Y'all, this is like the best yet. If you go to December, there's a page here, Saturn in my birth chart. So this table teaches you how to interpret Saturn in your birth chart. And then you kind of fill it out in sentences here so you can make sense of how these Capricorn transits are happening for you. Because for everyone, Capricorn transits are going to awaken your own Saturn. And so that's why I created this table. So you go to the month of December here, and this is a really good start. Do you think sidereal will become more widely used? I feel like sidereal is more accurate, but still confused as to why people still follow tropical only. You know, I don't know. I feel like some of it is just consensus. In the beginning, it was really hard to be like the only sidereal astrologer out here. And I'm not Vedic, so I didn't even have that community. It's really hard to be different. And so it's much easier to just speak the same language that everyone else is speaking. And some people really think tropical works because it fits within their framework of what astrology is capable of. For me, I knew astrology was capable of so much more. And when I switched to the sidereal zodiac, I realized how and why. What's your north node? No. Thank you for the slide, Dana. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much, Evelyn. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up here because it's time for me to go eat some lunch. But please like this video. Please subscribe. Please share. I really want to build up a larger community on YouTube, and I need you guys to help me do that. I need you guys to share this with your friends. I need you guys to yell at the algorithm by watching the video. Just put the video on in the background. You don't even have to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Share it with your friends. Go back and watch some of my other videos so that the algorithm can know that I exist, so that other people can know I exist, and we can all have a bigger party together on here. Yeah, give me a minute. This Aries new moon is really helping me kind of organize my business and my products and services a little bit better. So just bear with me. Several people have asked me for like a group, so just pray that the universe supports me in doing that. Thank you, David. Thank you, Olivia. I have a situation where no, I can't help you with that, Lulu. You should book the question and answer reading on my website. It's a 30-minute reading, and I can answer that question there about your personal situation. Thanks, Veronica. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shaw Tibre. You all enjoy, what is this? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Whatever day, who knows. Enjoy your day. Take care of yourself. If you're tired, don't judge yourself. We're all tired. There's a real threat that we cannot even fully respond to other than by freezing. And it's exhausting to be hypervigilant this way. So have grace, have mercy, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and stay home no matter what these authority figures. Don't give up your judgment. Don't give up your authority in your life to other people because you think they have some insight you don't. That's the lesson of Aries. Don't give up your perception and judgment to other people because you think you can see with your own eyes that virus is still out there. So mind your business and stay home and give it till about August. Okay? Well, not August, maybe July or June, but definitely not now. Definitely not May. Maybe not even until August. Okay? Bye, y'all.